What's up guys, Void here from View the Void, back with another Lineage 2 Revolution video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Adena, which is the primary and common currency found within Lineage 2 Revolution. Adena is important because without it you basically can't do anything. You can't, even with the premium currency, right, with Mavra's protections or enhancement scrolls, you can't even actually apply those to your character without having Adena to burn in the first place. And so needless to say, it is a very incredibly important resource, and in this video I will teach you the primary ways to go about attaining it. Now there are literally hundreds of ways to acquire Adena in this game, and so this video is not going to be an exhaustive list of all of the different ways to acquire Adena. It's simply going to be, this guy's serious? It's simply going to be the top 3 ways that I think are the quickest way to go about acquiring Adena over the course of one day. And just for qualification purposes, let's go ahead and look in the inventory. And as of yesterday, I am now over 104 million Adena, which is a lot. And I looked at my count, this morning, and I just thought, man, I'm probably going to end up spending that in a day or two. So let's go ahead and make a video about it while I'm qualified. So anyways, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to mention for gaining Adena, kind of a quick Adena grab, is every day at reset you are given 5 free quest scroll completions. Now if you don't know what quest scrolls are, if you've spent any time in the field farming monsters, you will have seen that they drop these quest scrolls varying in grade from C to B to A to S, and S actually are not dropped in the field. They are acquired via different means, which I will mention a bit later in the video. But basically, as I mentioned, you are given 5 quest scroll completions for free per day, and you are going to want to do A grade or higher, because that is just a quick Adena grab at the level that I'm at, and of course it scales depending on your level, but you're going to want to do obviously 5 of them at A grade or higher per day if you have them. And a bit of a tip here, for only 50 red gems per day, I've actually already reset it today once, but for 50 red gems, if you go in here and you click recharge and press the plus there, you are given 5 extra quest scroll completions for only 50 red gems, which is really, really good. Especially, if you're doing a level cap push and you just have a bunch of scrolls to burn. I actually max reset it. But for the time being, in the off season when there is not a race to level up, I only reset it one time for 50 red gems. Again, it's 100 for me because I've already done it today. And the 50 red gems, again, gives you 10 total quest scrolls for the day. And that is going to be the first tip. Okay, and the second tip is actually going to be clan dungeons. So if you have not yet joined a clan, definitely make sure that you do so as soon as possible. And if you look here under the clans tab, clan dungeon, there is Varkaron's Vestige or Vestige, I probably said it wrong, Queen Ant's Cave, and the Kruma Core room. And if you click in here and see each one of these that you complete, just by being in the room, you don't even need to hit the boss, but just by being in the room, you acquire the individual reward. And just for an example, the very hard clear of Varkaron is 25,000 Adena just by being in. And if you happen to be fortunate enough to get the top damage on the boss while you're in there, you will get 200% of that Adena increased as well. And so again, if you haven't joined a clan yet, make sure that you take advantage of that. It is a very, very quick Adena grab, and my clan actually does 1 day off, 1 day on. And so for the days that we do our clan dungeons, we do 2 full clears, and it nets me around 400 to 500,000 Adena over the course of half an hour. So that is definitely worth it if you are hurting in the Adena department. And the third and final tip, which is going to actually net you the majority of your Adena income every single day, is going to be AFK farming in the Elite Dungeon. Now, it's not as straightforward as you might think, but in order to get into the Elite Dungeon, for those of you that don't know, you click on the 3 bars at the top, Dungeon, Normal Dungeon, Elite Dungeon, and then you navigate to the dungeon that is appropriate for your level. And in my example, there are monsters in Dragon's Cave Catacomb 2, so I will enter and give you just a few tips here. Upon entering, if you're unfamiliar with the location, what you can do is you can actually click in the upper right hand corner on the map itself, click on monster, and then you want to search for a monster that is within 3 levels of you, so either 3 levels higher or 3 levels lower. Just as a note, you can actually pick a monster that is within 6 levels of you. Anything higher than your level is going to drop an appropriate amount of Adena and experience. However, if it overly outlevels you, like 6 or higher, the monsters will probably have too much HP for it to be efficient. And so I would recommend that you kill monsters within 3 levels of you to give you the maximum amount of experience and the maximum amount of Adena. In my case, I have actually been farming, because I'm level 320, the Bloody Espadas. Now, before I go into this, the number one tip for elite dungeon farming is you must invest in a good elite weapon or an elite dungeon weapon. Now, it unfortunately, it costs Adena to make Adena, just like everything in life. And so the very first thing you need to do before anything is invest in a good weapon. Now, the weapon that you invest in is going to depend on what level you are and what monsters you're fighting. But in my example, I'll just actually go over both of them real quick. You are either going to be using a weapon with the Hunt attribute, and all classes have access to these types of weapons. And Hunt gives you 112% bonus damage against elite monsters, or the magic weapon with the Pierce attribute. And again, you see it does 325% bonus damage to magical monsters, which is a lot more than 112%. The only caveat is that if you're a lower level and you're in the elite dungeon, you will not be seeing any magical type monsters. So you're going to have to, at least in the beginning stages of the game, invest in a weapon that has the Hunt attribute so that you can do more damage against elite monsters. And as you level, as you progress, slowly invest in a magic weapon, because this is going to be the primary means of your farming and pulling in Adena in the later stages of the game. And don't worry, don't feel like you're wasting your money or your Adena on an elite weapon, because the elite weapon, even in the end game, is going to be useful for things such as the temporal rifts and even farming too, in some capacities. So invest in a good weapon and make sure that you level the attribute up as high as possible. The attribute is actually more important than limit breaking the weapon itself. So before you limit break, I would actually UR the weapon as soon as possible and upgrade the attribute as soon as possible in order to maximize the amount of Adena that you're bringing in. If you're a DPS class, you will 100% be making way more Adena if you farm solo by yourself. If you are alone and you're a DPS class, you will pull in way more Adena than anybody else who is in a party, because the way it works is, if you're in a party with somebody and you are in close proximity to that person, you will actually split the resources down the middle. Actually, you will split specifically the Adena. So the Adena that you make will be cut in half or split into thirds based upon the amount of people that are in your party. And that is just certainly something to note. And with that being said, pro tip! When you're in the elite dungeon, what you can do to get a huge bonus is actually join a party of one of your friends to benefit from their passive ability. So for example, I'm going to have my Warcrier friend send me an invite right now, and you'll see, look at my CP as soon as I join his party. I went up 66,000 CP. Now, at this same time, I'm not in proximity to him, but if you look at my passive abilities, I still maintain the passive abilities that his class gives me, even though I'm not close to him. For example, I now have Chant of Protection, which gives me 17.8 thousand defense, and it reduces the crit damage that I receive by 53%. So it helps me stay alive, basically. Not only that, I gain 1.2% attack, and this is the big one, Death Whisper. My crit damage is increased by 71%. And so what you can do is you can join up with a party of people, and let's say that let's see where my friend is. He's up there in this location. I'm gonna go down here to the what is it, Bloody Carinis. I probably said that wrong too. But once I get here, these are magical monsters, and I'll actually show you how to find the appropriate monsters in just a moment. But once you get here, and let's put on my magic set, my preset, and I start hitting the monsters, you will see the attribute bonus damage, and I'm actually benefiting right now from Death Whisper, and I'm not splitting the Adena, even though I'm in a party with somebody. You must be in the same channel, but as long as you are in a different vicinity, you will still maintain their passive ability, and you can still maintain the benefits of basically being a solo farming character, which will give you just tremendous increases of Adena. If you are entering a dungeon and you kind of don't know what's around you, what you can do again is in terms of just like what I taught you how to find the level appropriate, you click the map, you click monster, you find the monster that is within 3 levels of you, and you click it, and then once you click it, you click info, and it will tell you what attribute type it is. So in this case, for the Bloody Espada at level 322, he is both a magical creature and an elite creature. And if you look at the applied attributes, this is what I'm actually wearing, and it shows you what you're benefiting from while you're wearing it. And the thing is, this is magical and elite, so I could actually use either my elite weapon or my magical weapon. However, if you remember what I mentioned before, the elite weapon only gives you 112% bonus damage, whereas the magic weapon gives you 325% bonus damage. So if you have magic monsters within your level, definitely use a magic weapon over against the elite weapon. But again, both will be useful in some capacities in different locations, so don't neglect one or the other. They're both important. Again, lower levels, elite weapon; higher levels, magical weapon. Pro tip! By AFK farming in the elite dungeon, you get a lot of red star stones and proofs of blood. You make way more than you actually need to donate, and so what I do is I sell my excess. So once I get what I do is I keep 1 stack of 30,000 red star stones, which is actually in my storage right now, and I keep 1 stack 30,000 proofs of blood in my storage, and everything else I just sell it, because look how much Adena you can get from selling these. That's 421,000 just from this stack, and I don't even need it. There is currently no additional use for proofs of blood or red star stones beyond the maximum that you can already donate to your clan per day. So selling those excess proofs and stones are going to just bolster the amount that you make that much more. I wanted to mention, while you're in the elite dungeon, you also pick up items, and you gain Adena from selling those items. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're set for whatever you're farming with. You scroll down and you make sure that your auto loot is set to C, because if you're set to A and you're only picking up A items, you will not be picking up B or C items. And if you actually pick them up and sell them, you gain more Adena than you would if you didn't pick them up in the first place. Again, if you are set to A and you're not picking up B or C's, you're missing so much Adena, because every C and B item that is being dropped is just being basically deleted, and you're losing out on Adena that you could make. That being said, you do actually have to go into your inventory and sell it. Now, the final thing that I wanted to mention, and I'm going to go ahead and just I'm just gonna do it. I'm not typically an advocate for spending money to acquire things within the game, but I think in this instance, for making Adena, it is incredibly worth it. And of course, it is found in the shop. So if you go to the shop and you click on the special shop, and in the upper middle of the screen, daily benefits shop, first of all, stay far away from Adena 1 and Adena 2. Totally not worth it. I've never purchased it before, and the amount of Adena that you gain, I literally make in probably a few hours, and it gives it to you over the course of 28 days, which is just totally not worth it. Maybe if it gave you 20 million Adena over the course of a month, I might consider it, but at 1 mil, no, not even in my sight. But what I want to bring your attention to is actually the daily hunting benefits. If you notice, I mentioned that you have to pick up and sell both C grade and B grade items, and sell them in order to make additional Adena on top of the A's. If you're wanting to keep and combine those, okay. But what this does is it gives you inventory item auto sell function, which is like amazing. So everything you pick up, you can sell it automatically without even having to be there. Not only that, it increases your item drop rate by 20% and your Adena by 20%. That's huge. And just I'm not sure. I don't typically advocate for spending a lot of money to get things in the game, but I think that at $10, you can forego your Chipotle burrito for the day. It is certainly worth it for an entire month. $10 is crazy with the amount of resources that you gain. Just the return for dollar is well worth it. And quick thing just to help you configure that, you click in the upper left hand corner on the just below the glowing sword next to your combat power, the calendar. Then you click on the glowing money bag, auto sell filter, rank settings, and you can actually dictate exactly what you sell. So let's say you only wanted to sell your C weapons. You want to pick up or wake up with an entire inventory of B weapons. You would set it to C or to C auto loot, and then you would open this screen and then basically sell everything that is C grade. And so when you wake up or you come back from a long session of AFK farming, your inventory will be completely full of whatever you want it to be. And so I actually right now I'm just selling everything. I hit apply, and then you can either select use or unuse. And what it does is every 30 seconds, it will sell everything in your inventory that you've specified with the settings above. And another note, you can actually select tradable materials aren't sold, which helps you combine tradable materials and sell them on the auction house. Like, the functionality for this is just crazy. It's so good for only $10 a month. I think it is well worth it. And then of course you hit apply. Okay, so there you have it. Just a few ways that I utilize every single day to pull in the most amount of Adena over the course of a day. And one thing I forgot to mention is if you're a healer class or a tank, you would do well to make friends with the DPS class. You know, ask them to farm for you. Your class is very useful and it is very helpful within a clan PvP setting. And so if they love you at all, they'll party up with you and help you gain Adena. That's basically what you're going to have to do. You'll do okay, but you won't do as well as somebody who is, for example, a ranger who just mows everything down incredibly fast. Now, another thing is, because this method of acquiring Adena, the AFK and the Elite Dungeon all day, basically requires you to farm all day, I'm going to be coming out with a video very shortly to help you basically be able to farm AFK all day. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a method that actually doesn't even require you to be on your phone. I play on my computer and I have a way to monitor and check on my character so that if he dies, I'm able to actually respawn him and bring him back to his farming spot and then continue, and I can monitor him throughout the day. So those of you guys who work a lot or you just have really busy days, you'll be able to AFK farm without having it on your phone, and you'll be able to monitor using your phone whenever you want to. So keep an eye out for that in the coming days. I'll be releasing that shortly. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy and found this video helpful, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more helpful and informative videos that serve as your guide to the world of Lineage 2 Revolution. Enjoy your day.